Hello, this is Hojun Cheng. Okay, welcome to the X32 Perfect Understanding Part 2. So I hope you enjoyed the last one, the Perfect Understanding Part 1. So last time we went through all the menus and all other things, right? So routings and setups and effectors and or functions. So if you didn't watch, then please do watch that episode. So it covers so many things. Okay, today we are going to go a little deeper than last time. So as you see, we are looking at the some specifications. I know you guys don't want to read the manual or read the books. So but however, we have to understand what this whole means, because whenever you want to learn a new device, or you want to buy, but you don't know what is the functions or some availability, or some ability. So you gotta know the before you actually buy or touch the machine. When you look at the specifications, you have some idea about what the actual machines, actual equipments will do. So, all right, let's go over one by one. So, first it says processing. So, this is digital mixer, right? So, it is a processing. So internally there is something called DSP, digital signal processor. Okay, so this is about how the capability, so how the whole DSP can do. So here, number of input processing channels. So there's a limit, right? So it has 32 input channels. So we're going to use the microphone input or S16 or some of the line inputs that going into the microphone inputs. So there's 32 of them, okay, and 8. Hold on, let me click this. Why I cannot? Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, or let me just turn it off. This is better. So we only do the paper thing, not the mixer. Later we're gonna turn on. Okay, so 32 input channels and 8 aux channels. Aux means extra, auxiliary. That's a hard word. Auxiliary input, okay, and 8 FX return channels. So there is internal effectors, 4 of them, right? So each one has 2 inputs, 2 outputs. So total of 8 return channels. Okay, that's the maximum capability. So we know it's not just 32, it's 48. So here's a 32 plus 8 plus 8. So actually the X32 has 48 channels that can do the whole mixing. Okay. Next, there's an internal effect engine. It says true stereo or mono. So there's actually 16 in and out, but we can use as 8 stereos. Okay, so 8 and 16. All right. And internal total record scenes. So we go over with the scenes, right? So a snapshot of each setup can be one scene. So there is 100. So internal memories. So you can have 100 scenes. Signal processing. Okay, we already talked about the DSP, digital signal processing. So how the DSP working on this X32 It's a 40-bit floating point. That's kind of complicated thing. It's like how the DSP works. So it's a non-floating point or floating point. So you can do the Google. Okay. So the important thing is this 40-bit. So internally there's a one data that's a 40-bit and floating point that's more flexible and more dynamic range. I mean that's not the audio dynamics, but on the signal side there's more room for the whole processing there. Okay, AD DA conversion, analog to DA digital and digital to analog conversion, right? That's a 24-bit. 24-bit is depths, sampling depths, and 44.1 or 48 kilohertz. That's a sampling rate. So this is all based on 1 second. So 1 second of audio, we will use the analog audio to make a digital data. On the level side, that's a 24-bit, and the frequency side, so 1 second, we can divide it by 44,100 or 48,000 times. Okay, so there's a slice. So more number there, shorter and detailed, more narrow slice there. Okay, 114 dB dynamic range. Yeah, so that's a convergence side. Okay, network I/O latency. Yeah, latency is if the latency goes longer than 20 milliseconds or more, people can hear it. So people can hear the delays, the latency. But this one, so from console input to output is 0.8 millisecond, which is like 1 millisecond is 1/1000th, right? So 0.8 milliseconds is really tiny. It's more like nothing. So this is not a serious latency see that we have here. And also network latency. That means like, okay, it says network, right? So everything is kind of networks. So stage box out, console, and stage box in, well, the other way, right? Stage box in. So when you connect the audio signal into the S16 and network cable can run the signal and into the console and going back to the S16 and out. So that latency is 1.1 milliseconds. So it's nothing. Well, it is nothing because we get the all same inputs simultaneously. So all 32 or 16 or 10 microphone signal can be input to the mixer simultaneously. So there is no like one goes faster or one goes the other. So it's like 1.1 is just basic processing latency. So we don't need to worry about like 1 millisecond. So every digital mixer has the latency. Digital is not like analog. Digital is like all the bits and all the connections and transfer the data. And so we have a latencies. But like I said, this is nothing. Okay, connectors is XLR inputs. We usually use as microphone inputs, right? And it says a programmable mic preamp. That means yes, the digitally controlled mic preamp. So all the gain value can be recorded and recall. Okay, designed by Midas. Okay, that's a 32. So there's a built-in mic pre. We have a 32 here. A talkback microphone input, etc. There's external microphone that we can use as a talkback microphone. That's a one. RCA input and output. So we can put the CD players or cassette deck, or even like your iPad with the small tiny the RCA connectors in it, right? So you can use that, and out too. So going back to the computer or recorder. XLR outputs, that's a 16, that's X32, and X32, so X32C or P has 8 of them, okay? Monitoring output, XLR, and TRS, that's the output for the monitoring system. So you can use as house, front of house monitor mixer, or if you use X32 your recording side, that is the monitor out, the control room out there. Okay, aux input and output. So this is totally different than basic I/O. There's a 32 and 16 out, plus this additional 6 and 6 outs, 6 in, 6 out. Okay, phone out. So you can connect headphones. That's on the side, the handle side, not just back and front. So we can use either side. So there's 2 of them. Digital AES EBU outputs. So this one is the digital format. So you can use you can connect to the digital recorder or the other digital equipments, or even the video side that can have the AES EBU. Okay, it says just one connector, but basic the format of digital AES EBU has 2 channels in it. So you can use main left and right, or some other channels like aux 1 and 2. I mean mix 1 and 2, or 10 and 11 for the other purpose. Okay, AES 50. Okay, that's the format they call the Midas and Behringer called SuperMac. That's a protocol. That's the name of the protocol, SuperMac. And the hardware, the connector is Nutric Ethercon. So Ethercon made by Nutric. Okay, that's 2 of them. So there's a port A and port B. We're gonna go over it later. Okay, and there's an expansion card slot. So basically, when you buy the X32, you will have one expansion card, the kind of built-in, but you can replace to the other card, like a Dante or some other things. So it has 32 in and out. So the 32 channel can go out with the USB port, and 32 channel can coming in. P16 is for the personal monitoring system, right? The P16M. So there is one connector, and they called it for this one as Ultranet. So Ultranet means, yeah, a personal monitoring bus. That's the protocol they use. Okay, that's the one. And then no power supply, so no PoE. So you have to have a power supply on the P16M. Okay, and also they have a Midi in and out. So what can we do with Midi? There's a bunch of things. It's like a Midi kind of switch things, or even you can control your light through the Midi output, right? Okay. And there's a Midi type A. That's the USB memory port, right? This one, top here. So that's a type A. So it's for audio and data export and import. Okay. USB type B is sitting on the rear side. We'll go over. So it's for the remote control only. So this one and this one, these two use USB. If you use the USB side on this, but it's totally different purpose. So go with this. That's the audio tracks. If you connect on this one, that's for the remote. Okay, and there is one more Ethernet. Okay, that's for the network. And as we go over with the last time, the X32 edit on my computer, and the X32, it can connect it with the through the network. So this is the network port that we use. Okay. This microphone mic input characteristics is like THD, total harmony distortion, and some hard words are here. So just pass, and here's the non-clip maximum input level. That means like if the signal go over about plus 23 dBu, it will be clip. So there's a maximum limit. Okay, and when you think about dynamic range, this is the peak. Okay, and next is phantom power. Okay, phantom power. There's a switchover per input. So all of 32 channels have their own switches to use the phantom power for the condenser microphone or the DI box that need an external power supply. Okay, we just skip the others. Kind of electronic, the engineering side. So we're gonna just go over with it. And here, input and output characteristics. Okay, frequency range. That's the range of the whole sonic side. So how low can go or how high can go. Okay, at 48 kilohertz sampling rate. Okay, 0 dB to minus 1 dB. That's the rooms. Okay, so that means like from the 10 hertz to 22 kilohertz. There's a plus minus. So when you put the signal, it can go down on minus 1 dB. That's the maximum. So signal is right there, 0 to minus 1. So it's kind of a really wide. The people can hear the 20 hertz through the 20K. So it's wider than nature humans hearing. Okay, and dynamic range is 106 and 109, and all of those things is way better than typical analog mixer. And here's a crosstalk rejection and 100 dB. So that means like there is almost no crosstalk. The crosstalk is the like when we use the old analog console, and there's like a whole electronics circuits right next to the other channels. So all the channels are really closed. So all the electronic magnetic field or some other things can interfere with the other channels. So when you solo the channel 3, but you also hear a little bit about channel 2 or channel 4 or something like that. So there's a crosstalk. And digital side, there is no physical circuits. So there is less chance to have the crosstalk. Okay, that's about this one. Okay, let's skip all of those things, all the terms. Okay, the main screen is 7-inch. This one. I hope it has a touch screen functions, but no, it's not touch screen. And 128 by 64, yeah, something like that. So, and also so this is basic specifications of the whole X32. So when you compare with the other mixer with the X32, please don't listen to the people. It's like some people says Yamaha makes a little bit cold sound and Midas is a little bit warm and whole other talks, but I don't believe it because they have no proof. It's just a feeling that they just felt it is kind of cold, it is kind of warm, it's a little bit narrow, something like that. But when you see the specifications, you will know. And also all of those color things that we can change by the tones or other things. So we have to look at the specifications, to compare with all other things first. Well, if they lie about specifications, that's a problem. But most likely, they did all the tests and other things. So you gotta go over with the specifications and compare. Okay, so that's hard part, but this is more hard part, right? I'm sorry, but we gotta go over with this, because when you don't see this, you cannot just go more deeper. This is called signal flow. Okay, here it looks complicated, but it is not. So when you look at all of those things, and you will understand what the whole signal flow, this whole thing is. Okay, the first thing that we have to go over with the this grade one. Okay, let me zoom it. Okay, it says Dsp Patch. So it's an internal patch bay within the DSP. So in that DSP, we can repatch, so all the connections can be adjusted, right? Okay, here. And here's one more. It's called IO patch. So we already go over with the config menu, and there's the whole selection, right? So channel A can have input 3 or 4 or whatever that we can change. That's on this side. So that's IO patch. So there is 40 of the connections. That means 40 channel can go to the DSP patch and then into the all the signal processing. Okay, so in the IO patch there is the 32 microphone input. We already go over with. Okay, and there's a phantom switch, right? So phantom power can fit same 48 volt, 9 volt to 48, but normally they use 48 volt and feed to the hot and cold signal. So if there is a condenser microphones or DI box that need a power, they will get the power. But dynamic and whole other devices that don't use the phantom power, they're gonna just cancel the whole voltage, so it's not gonna harm anything. Okay, and also return. So this is the extra input. So if you put the iPad or some other things, it can come to this side, and this is the AD conversion. Okay, and also there's a AS50AB. So there's a 2-port, right? And each one has 48 channel input. That's the basic channel number of channels in that protocol that they use. Okay, and there's a slot, right? Slot is for the DAW, most likely. And there's a out. So this total IO can repatched or patched in the IO patch section and going into the DSP, right? So this is the DSP. And there is another ones like USB playback. This is the input, right? USB record. So we can choose the source from the DSP patch. So either main, left, and right, or mix buses, or whatever that we can use. FX 1 through 8 out. Okay, it can go into the DSP patch and to the channels. Okay, same. It's like mixed insert. There's an insert function, so we can put the graphic equalizer on the mix 1 and 2 for the wedge, the flow monitors, so you can ring out. Matrix, okay, main, left, and right. Okay, this is the insert. So same, like we can put the graphic equalizer to get the ring out, the whole feedback, those things. Patch Q and mix 1 and mix. This is the aux sends, right? The regular aux sends, and we call it mix here. Matrix, and yeah, this is whole IO sections. So now you know. Well, it's not really hard to just look at this, right? Okay. And here's a USB recorder session. So record in and play out the memory recorder and USB memory. Okay, so we can adjust the whole levels and those things. Okay, this is the basic channel processing. So we already went through last time. This is a phase reverse, attenuation. This is the like a gain section, delay. Yeah, delay. We can do the we can compensate the delay time. And low cut. That's a high pass filter. And gate. Okay, here is one gate here. And there's an insert point. We can use like pre-EQ or post-EQ. And the compressor, the dynamics can be before EQ or post, behind the EQ here. Insert point, okay? And mute switch, so we can mute the channels, okay? And the fader here, or the level. Fader is output side. Okay, so always think, fader control the output, the channel output, not input. Input is on input, we use gain, the trim, okay? And there's a pan, so there's a left and right and mono. Okay, mono is the extra out, but when you use LCR 3 channels mode, then you can select so center, left and right here. Okay, and the aux return channel can have similar, but there's no gate and compressor, right? Okay, stereo FX return. Yeah, there's a whole similar sections. FX, so there is a built-in like there's so many effects output within the mixer. So compressor or delay, reverb, like play reverb or delay, chorus, and whole lot of things there. And talkback microphone. This is the built-in talkback, and this is external microphones that we can use for the talkback. Okay. And this is the bus, so we can just think that this is the freeway and all the cities. This is the connections. So city A, we use freeway to go city B, right? So there's all of those things. The dotted ones are connections, connect point, and this is not connected, just over. Okay, only the this dotted, the cross point, that's a connections. And this is the mix out section. So we use the mix bus here, right? So if something goes onto the mix bus, you can go here. So one can go to the mix one, and there is a lever and insert point and compressor expander. It can go behind or before the EQ, right? Okay, and insert point, fader, and out. And matrix has similar functions here. Okay, matrix 1, 3, 5. This is the send to matrix. Okay, and main, left, right, and main channel output. So you can have EQs and compressors. And this is really nice. Think about the price of the X32. It's like all days you will need a whole lot of output. So if you pay for $300 for the one compressor, 32 plus all the outputs. So that's a whole lot of money, but we save for the digital mixer here. Okay. And matrix output here, same, similar, monitor output. Okay, so basically, this is not really hard to learn. So next time when you think about or when you try to understand what the whole mixer works, then first thing is look at this one, signal flow. And next one is specifications that we went through, right? So check the how the technical specification look like. Okay, So that's the thing. Good. Questions? Let me know. Okay. All right, and we're gonna go to the rear side. Okay, my iPad just keep coming in. Okay, here. This is the rear panel of the X32. X32 has 16 outs. X32C and X32P compact and producer have the 8. So this is the output, and we can route this onto the routing section, right? Remember this? Remember this side routing? Yeah. Bright. Okay. Oh, same. Okay. So we can use the routing section here to feed what the output section and what kind of signal can go through this, go out from the input 1 and 2 and all of those things, right? And here is the monitor control room out. So you can put the monitor speaker. So, and there is also a delay, right? Remember? We went through. And here's a slot. So this USB or FireWire can connect to the computer. So we can get the 32 in and out for your Pro Tools or Logic Pro X or Cubase Studio One, whatever that DAW is. Okay, this is the USB for remote only. Sometimes people connect the USB on this side, and I'm asked that why my Logic cannot recognize the X32, because you put the USB cable on here. It should be here, right? And so these two are for the controls, like we use the X32 edit app, right? That's the thing. And here, the other side, there is 3 more RJ45, the network connectors. So people can confuse about this. So A, B, this is for the AES50. Okay, so this is for the whole, the data, the 48 in and outs per each. So there is no network thing or the others, but it's just for the AES50 only, the connection. And this one is Ultranet, which is P16 only. Here, connect your Behringer P16. So you gotta think about like where to put. Okay, this is the AES Ebu out. Okay, so it does have two channels of digital audio in one cable. This is the input section. So X32 has a 32 input, and X32C has a 16 input. So here's all the XLR inputs, and under here is extra inputs, right? Aux in. So 1 through 6. But as you see, the same numbers are here, right? So total number of inputs are 6. So either we use RCA or TRS, same as the aux out. So we use either RCA or XLR. So that's the extra input and outputs. Okay, this is the basic hookup connection. I don't need to say, but so you already know. So all the output. So when you route the mix 1 through 4, and we just use that for the monitor side, like a wedge, and you can connect this, and this should be the active, right? So built-in amp. So this is the line level, not the speaker level. So we have to have amp here. This one too, and this is for the main speaker system. So the 15, 16, or we can route this on the route menu here. Aux out, okay, and monitor here. Yeah, we're doing this. Okay, and here's all the inputs. So all the microphones can directly connect it to the XLR connectors, and the whole unbalanced musical instrument, we use DI box. So basically keyboard, if the keyboard has XLR outs, we can connect directly, but most of keyboards don't have the XLRs, so we use DI box. So there's an impedance change and also the unbalanced to balanced, so reduce all the noise on this connection, right? So, and if you want to use the output, like FX2000 here, so output reverb or some other output devices, you can use the aux in and out for the insert point. Okay, so sound can go out from aux out and going in, and we can reroute that to the whatever that you want to use. And this is the S16, the stage box, right? So you can connect those to the AES50 here. Okay, and this is the P16M. Okay, if you have P16D distributor, you can connect like many, but the one link, so the chain link, maximum number of the P16M will be 4. If you put the 5, the fifth one can signal can lost randomly. So maximum number is 4 right there. So if you just link, so put one in and use throughout to the other one, the maximum number is 4. Just think that, okay? And yeah, this is the AES Ebu out to the hard disk recorder or CD player. All right. Oh yeah, here. Cabling for all AES50. This is the standard. So shielded Cat5e, we gotta use shielded one, SDP, right? And EtherCon. You don't need to use EtherCon. Regular RJ45 works fine. And the maximum length is 100 meter, 330 feet. So maximum is 100 meter. Just remember those. All right. I hope today we covered kind of tough things, something like this. But I guess you will understand. And if you don't understand, look at the manual or go to Google, and there's a bunch of answers. I hope you enjoyed this time, and all right. See you next time. Thank you. Subscribe and please press the like button and spread the words. Okay, share. Thank you. Bye.